Hi guys, Aaron here. Today I want to address a question I already got a couple of times on Strava and also YouTube and other media as well. And it's when people see, I'm not saying I'm a fast bike rider, but I'm faster than, let's say, the average rider. And some people have been asking, due to the high average speeds, etc., that's why am I still not a professional rider or racer? And there's a very simple answer to that. If you look at my power numbers, yes, they are higher than average, but if you want to be a professional, it's just not enough for that at the moment. And I know people are going to say that, yeah, you should believe in yourself, etc., etc. Yes, I know I can improve, I can build on this, but as of now, at the current moment, my power is just not enough to be a professional bike racer. And I know that for sure, because I have, the UCI power profile test here, and I can compare my power numbers directly. The reason I have quite high average speeds when I ride on Strava is because I ride in a rural area with no traffic, very good roads, nice, fast, flat roads. So if you put above average power on that, you're going to get above average speeds and high speeds. And also my equipment, and my position, I pay attention to all of that. So basically the power I produce, none of them is really wasted. So from my body type, it's quite obvious I'm never going to be a world-class sprinter. If I compare that to the UCI power profile test, we have the 6 seconds peak power, and my highest number from last year is 1002 watts, which is not very impressive at all. And at 60 kilos, that equates to 16.7 watts per kilo. Which ranks me into the category marked as high, so slightly above average. If I wanted to be an elite athlete, an elite sprinter for that matter, I'd have to put out 23 to 26 watts per kilo, which is a lot more. But I just don't have that body and muscle type. If you go further down to the more endurance-oriented tests, the 30-second test is much more favorable in my case. My best average 30 seconds from last year was 715 watts, so that's 11.9 watts per kilo, and this ranks me just on the elite level to the junior ranks. So I've got 11.9 watts per kilo. The elite ranks start from 12.5 to 13.5. So actually I was quite surprised by this, but in this segment I can say that I'm not too far off. Then we have the 4-minute maximum aerobic test. Here I have a power record of 397 watts. That's 6.61 watts per kilo. And this is actually where my endurance and body type enables me, in these longer efforts to go high up the ranking, because indeed the elite category sits from 6.5 to 7.5 watts per kilo. So I'm scraping at the bottom of the elite level here. But, at my weight, if I compare it to the total power, not just the relative power to my weight, then it's not that much, to be honest. And particularly if you consider, with these high numbers and longer efforts, for example the FTP effort, I have 315 watts there as my best. That's 5.25 watts per kilo. If you take a pro Grand Tour level rider, that's going to be more in the region of 6 or even 6.2, 6.5 watts per kilo. So even at these longer efforts, which really suit me, I have still a long way to go, and arguably the further you go, you know, the harder it gets. I'm not saying I will not eventually get there, but there's still work to be done. Particularly if you consider, you know, I've read a race report from last year, one of the time trials at the Giro d'Italia, the hill climb, where Egan Bernal won, and he, according to the calculations, no exact numbers, just a guess, but he did those 6.61 watts per kilo, or in that region, for more than 20 minutes. I think it was 24, and I can do it only for 4. So that's still a long way off. And if we consider some all-time greatest riders like Contador, for example, he was exactly my weight, with a 20-minute power best of 460 or something. So that's completely crazy, and that's basically 50% more than I can do, and yeah, it's quite unbelievable. I'm not sure that it was completely down to talent and hard work, but yeah, there's still a long way to go in this sense. So I think you would find this information interesting. You know, it's a direct comparison. That's the great thing with power. You know exactly where you are at. And if you want to know more about my training and my equipment that I use, then don't forget to tune in for the channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.